the mainstream media continues to lie about the India versus Pakistan conflict at the moment, with the mainstream media saying that India and Pakistan have reached somewhat of a peace agreement. You may believe that, you may not. We're not actually on the ground, so we don't really know what's going on at the moment. But I don't think there is going to be a real kind of peace with the regards of the T-word organization that is really in control, because Pakistan, as we know, is an Islamic country at the moment, and they don't want Hindus, Christians, pretty much any Indian, anyone that's non-Muslim to exist. And they will continue to wage wars against India until India decides that enough is enough. Now, the vast majority of Indians are Hindus. There's a vast majority of them that are also Christians as well. And look, for the most part, they are peaceful individuals. But I'm pretty sure that you guys, like myself, had no idea that yesterday we were so close to being engaged in World War III, and that would have been a nuclear war. Now, personally, I don't like hearing any of this kind of stuff at all. I cannot stand war, but the thing is, I know that India, the Jews, Israel, and several other Western countries at the moment, they're trying their very best. It seems like India and Israel are the only ones really set out to destroy terror. They're the only ones that are out to destroy these Muslim countries that want them to no longer exist, that want to destroy and want to take over with their religion. It's amazing to me just how much the mainstream media and the rest of the world are going against people that are actually on your side. They're on the side of peace. They want peace to exist, but somehow the mainstream media propaganda machine are siding with the likes of Pakistan, siding the likes with terror. It's amazing to me. It really is. What is going on with the world? The mainstream media are merely just a propaganda machine at the moment. And when I saw this news headline, I'm going, you've got to be kidding me. We were so damn close yesterday. I'm pretty sure that none of you know just how close we actually were. Within minutes, I believe it was, and then it all changed. That's how close we were to being engaged in World War III yesterday. Because India, they have nuclear capabilities, and so does Pakistan. Who fires first, I wonder? Gee, could it be India or could it be Pakistan? Now, if Pakistan engages first with nuclear capabilities, India will obviously retaliate, but that throws the rest of the world, us as allies to India, into the mix. If a nuclear war sets out or starts because of Pakistan's aggression, we don't want a nuclear war to start at all. But if, God forbid, a nuclear war begins, it will be over so quickly, because we have too many nuclear arms, especially in the West, right? And we do not want anyone to be using nuclear weapons. Let me just point that out. But God forbid that this were to happen. India retaliates, wipes Pakistan off the map. Then Iran gets involved, then South Korea, then Russia, and the whole bloody world is just a catastrophe at the moment. Unless we de-escalate. And that's exactly what India had to do. They had to de-escalate the situation because Pakistan was ready to, boom, rockets flying. And at the moment, the tensions that are increasing with India and Pakistan, the standoff is kind of crazy. It's kind of wild because most people are against India. I still don't understand how people can be against India when India is the one that is defending the West, defending democracy. In the latest India-Pakistan standoff, there were no ultimatums, no red buttons. Yet the cycle of military retaliation, veiled signals, and swift international mediation quietly evoked the region's most dangerous shadow. The crisis didn't spiral towards nuclear war, but it was a reminder of how quickly tensions can summon that specter. Even though this is an article from the BBC, once again, the BBC, they don't always tell the truth. Okay, from what I was seeing, reports online, and you'll probably definitely have to double check this, but we were incredibly close. While it didn't happen yet, while they didn't push any red buttons, thank God for that, we got so close. Even scientists have modeled how easily things could unravel. A 2019 study by a global team of scientists opened with a nightmare scenario where a T-word attack on India's parliament 2025 triggers a nuclear exchange with Pakistan. That's how easy it is. It doesn't take much, I'll have you know, for Pakistan to basically start this, because they've been doing attacks all over the place for many, many years. The vast majority of T-word individuals that end up all around the world, guess where they originate? They come from Pakistan. Pakistan hid Osama bin Laden. What does that tell you? Most people that are radicalized come from Pakistan. And Pakistan is just a proxy for Iran, believe it or not. 6 years later, a real-world standoff, though contained by a US brokered ceasefire on Saturday, stoked fears of a full-blown conflict. God forbid, if we didn't have Trump in office and his people around to de-escalate the situation and try and broker a ceasefire or a peace deal between, far out. The US is literally the superpower of the world at the moment, brokering peace deals with Ukraine and Russia, trying to do the same thing with Hamas and Israel at the moment, and then now doing India and Pakistan. Goodness me. And the rest of the mainstream media in the world are complaining. And they're siding with the T-word organizations. I'll have you know. That is concerning. It has also revived uneasy memories of how fragile stability in the region can be, how easy it can be to actually have a full-blown conflict. As the crisis escalated, Pakistan sent dual signals, retaliating military while announcing a National Command Authority, NCA, meeting, a calculated reminder of its nuclear capability. They're just trying to measure dicks at the moment, like who's got the bigger one. If I've got the bigger one, then I can use that against you, so to speak, right? That's kind of like the slum down analogy, I guess you could say. But really, if you want to go to a more technical analogy, Pakistan is trying to show strength by going, hey, remember, we've got big missiles, and those big missiles have got nuclear capabilities, and India is also going, so do we. Don't forget about that, because if you launch your missiles, we'll launch ours too. And you don't want India to launch their missiles, man. No one wants anyone to launch missiles. Stop. President Trump said the US didn't just broker a ceasefire, it averted a nuclear conflict. On Monday, in an address to the nation, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi said, there is no tolerance for nuclear blackmail. India will not be intimidated by nuclear threats. Now, Prime Minister Modi, I believe, is a very peaceful man. He's a very wise man as well. And I don't think he wants nuclear war. But if Pakistan, God forbid, if their leaders decide, you know what, forget this, press the red button, then I don't think Prime Minister Modi is going to sit on his hands and knees and allow them to do that and wipe out India. Any T-word safe haven operating under this pretext will face precise and decisive strikes, Modi added. Again, don't mess with Modi. Don't mess with Hindus at all. Just pointing that out as well. India and Pakistan each possess about 170 nuclear weapons, according to the think tank Stockholm International Peace Research Institute. Imagine that. A peace research institute has come up with the amount of deadly weapons that India and Pakistan both possess. January 2024, CIPRI estimated there were 12,121 nuclear warheads worldwide. Fuck. Of these, about 9,585 were held in military stockpiles, with 3,904 actively deployed, 60 more than the previous year. The US and Russia together account for more than 8,000 nuclear weapons. You've got to be kidding me. It is an absolute miracle that Russia and the US has not used any nuclear weapons. And for the life of me, I don't understand, aside from, okay, us as a nation having the power, the more nuclear weapons you've got and the more deadly they are, the more you're feared. I get that. But why in the world does this nation have this deadly weapon? It's almost like Oppenheimer realizing that he had made a huge mistake. No one should be able to control this kind of power. It is deadly. So why in the world have we got so many? Why in the world do we keep making them? It's amazing to me. I understand having nuclear power as an energy source, 100%, but using it as a weapon? Since testing nuclear weapons in 1998, Pakistan has never formally declared an official nuclear doctrine. India, by contrast, adopted a no first use policy following its 1998 tests, but this stance has shown signs of softening. In 2003, India reserved the right to use nuclear weapons in response to chemical or biological attacks, effectively allowing for use under certain conditions. There should be no condition that a nuclear weapon is even used, or even a bioweapon for that fact. But unfortunately, we live in a day and age where evil exists, evil resides, and we are very, very good, humans are these days, at unaliving one another. I know that terminology sucks to use. I would much rather use the other word for it, but unfortunately, this platform doesn't allow it without me censoring it, which is stupid if you ask me. But anyway, we're very, very good at taking each other out in the worst ways possible. All throughout history, humans have come up with the worst, most deadly weapons imaginable to try and knock out another human being. It's honestly insane to me. So Pakistan's nuclear threshold remains vague. But in 2001, Khalid Kidwai, then head of the Strategic Plans Division of the NCA, outlined 4 red lines: major territorial loss, destruction of key military assets, economic strangulation, or political destabilization. So if India is threatened, they have their guidelines. If Pakistan is threatened in any kind of way, shape, or form with territorial loss, destruction of key military assets, which has actually happened, economic strangulation or political destabilization, then they have the right, or they think they have the right, to use their nuclear weapons. That's their guideline or their threshold, so to speak. So Pakistan, this all started, well, you want to go all the way back to the very beginning. Pakistan has been attacking India for a very, very long time, and India doesn't really do much. They send a couple of rockets in response, and that's it. They're very strategic in their responses. Then the Muslim-backed Pakistani men went to Kashmir recently, and they decided to seek out anyone that was non-Muslim, primarily men. They looked at their passports, saw if they were a Hindu. They pulled down a man's pants as well, and then shot him in the head, ending his life. They ended the lives of 26 innocent people. And the Indian government, Prime Minister Modi, and all the other Indians as well, were absolutely outraged, as you would be, as you should be. A T-word attack on your soil in a peaceful location in Kashmir, a very popular holiday spot and resort. That's what set off India and Prime Minister Modi going, enough is enough. I am sick and tired of this. Indians are sick and tired of this. We're going to put a stop to this nonsense. Well, not just nonsense, but this actual terror. We're going to stop it and nip it in the bud. And so they went after one another. The conflict arose, and because of Trump and his office, he managed to broker somewhat of a ceasefire. I wonder how long that's actually going to last. In March 2022, India accidentally fired a nuclear-capable cruise missile which traveled 124 kilometers into Pakistani territory before crashing, reportedly damaging civilian property. Pakistan said India failed to use the military hotline or issue a public statement for 2 days. Had this occurred during heightened tensions, the incident could have spiraled into serious conflict, experts say. Months later, Indian government sacked 3 Air Force officers for the accidental firing of a missile. Well, yeah, there are no accidents when it comes to nuclear capabilities, man. You've got to have certain protocols in place. Can't just be, oh, accidentally push the red button. Whoops. Started nuclear war. Yeah, right. I don't think it works like that. But anyway, India made that mistake. And as a result, it sparked more tensions, but tensions have just been growing ever since because Pakistan hates India. And the other issue that we've got going on is Pakistanis have infiltrated Western countries. So I don't know if you're aware of that. That's also a problem because they were protesting on the streets for Pakistan's independence. Now, we've also got loads of Indians, loads of Hindus in our Western countries, some of which I got many friends of mine that are Indian as well, and they stand with India. And I stand with India too. I don't stand with Pakistan. No way in hell. Why would I do that? Now, I guess we're going to have to wait and see what takes place in the future, but I hope and I pray that it's not nuclear war. Now, the BBC were going, how close are we to really engaging in nuclear war? They're going, oh, not really that close. Are you nuts? Are you nuts, BBC? They probably are. Just pointing that out. They don't really like telling the truth, do they? No, not very good. Like, they don't want to be alarmists. I get it, right? But we are so close. And if it wasn't for Trump, I can only imagine what would have happened if Biden or Kamala Harris had been in office. God forbid. But when you've got someone like Trump that is actually powerful and his officials that he's got, they're also powerful to de-escalate situations that are rising. Because tensions with India and Pakistan at the moment are extremely fragile. One, they both want each other gone at the moment. And I want India to wipe out the T-word organization. Just pointing that out. Because I don't want them to be around. Anyway, that's enough from me, but you guys take care, be blessed, and I'll see you all in the next video.